Hello and welcome to your practice. Today we are going to be practicing Ananda Balasana or happy baby posture. So for this one, we'll begin on our backs. You can grab behind one knee or bring your arms alongside of your body to slowly roll down onto your back and then draw your knees into your chest and take a little rock from side to side. And we'll just warm up the body with a single leg stretch. So bring one knee into the chest and take a deep breath in through your nose. And then switch as you breathe out of your nose. And just find a nice natural rhythm of inhalations and exhalations as you alternate your leg stretch. As you do this, you can start to work on drawing your shoulders back and down towards the earth and on keeping your tailbone rooted down rather than rolling up off your mat. Now that we've done a bunch of those, let's start to straighten the leg and come into a hamstrings and calf stretch. Continue alternating the legs right along with your breath's pace. We'll do one more on each side. And then we'll bring both knees into the chest. Bring your feet down to the ground, keeping both knees bent. And just take another opportunity to roll your shoulders back and down. We're going to start with a really modified version of Happy Baby. We'll be using just one leg and keeping the other knee bent for a stronger support system. So draw your right knee into your chest and then start to bring your foot up above the knee as if you were standing on the ceiling. You can use your right hand to just hook right behind your kneecap. So this is a half Happy Baby, and it's a great variation to start to work your mobility in this posture. If this is feeling good, maybe you reach up and hold your ankle, and you can just take a hold around it like you're holding a cup and give a gentle pull downward, like you're trying to pull your knee towards your armpit. Take a few breaths here. If this is feeling good, you can take your peace fingers and come into a toe hold. So you would slide your peace fingers right between your big toe and your second toe, and then curl to wrap the peace fingers around your big toe. Give a little pull back with your toe so that you don't feel like you're going to pull your toe right off of your foot. There should be equal and opposite resistance. Continue to bend your knee, and you might even bend your elbow a little bit. If this is feeling really good and your back is free of any pain, you can stretch out your other leg onto the floor, and you'll likely feel an increase in the stretch here in the front of your base outstretched leg. The final option for this single leg Happy Baby would be to take your hand and wrap it all the way around the little toe edge of your foot. If you do this, you'll probably feel it requires a little bit of deepening of the stretch. Sometimes I like to take this hand, the other hand, and place it on the outstretched leg for a little extra settling and grounding. So essentially you're in sort of a wide-legged or lizard lunge position if you were standing on the ceiling. And take one more breath here. And then whatever you're holding, whether it's the back of your leg or your ankle, your toe, or the outer edge of your foot, gently release and just hold on behind the knee. And we'll bend and unbend the leg a few times. Now let's do that all on the other side. So bend your right knee and place the foot on the floor for some grounding. This helps to settle the lower back. Bring your other knee into your chest, and we'll start holding right on behind the kneecap, externally rotating the hip, and just imagining that you're standing right on the ceiling. Your ankle will be stacked right above your knee. Take a few breaths as you settle in. Feel free to transfer your grip up to your ankle. Or to take that toe hold. Or to hold the outer edge of the foot. And remember that the opposite leg can remain bent with the foot flat on the ground. Or if it feels all right to stretch it out, you can go ahead and do that. We'll just take a few more breaths here. And then we'll gently release the grip and regrip with both hands right behind your knee. And just bend and unbend your leg a few times. Eventually, we'll gather both knees into the chest and just take a little rock from side to side. So now that we've gone over half happy baby, we'll transition into the various options for a full happy baby. So for these, the first option is just like we did on the single leg, but with both legs. You'll just hold right around the outsides of the legs, right behind your kneecaps, and create a goalpost position with your legs. So now it will feel like you're standing on the ceiling in a wide-legged squat position. This is a nice option because it doesn't require the same amount of flexibility as reaching up for your toes, but it lacks a little for some people because it feels less supported. If that's where you're at, you might try putting a strap right over the feet and holding onto that. That can feel really supportive. If you feel ready to deepen this a little, you can reach up and hold on to your ankles. And you might even feel your elbows can ever so lightly support the insides of your lower legs. While you do this, make sure your tailbone doesn't roll up off the ground. Really try to keep the spine long and the shoulders and the tailbone anchored. If this is going well, you can try your toe hold. Or even holding onto the lateral edges of your feet. Sometimes I like to add a little movement here, bending one knee and taking the other leg out into a half straddle split, and then bending the other knee and switching sides. So feel free to flow through that a few times if you'd like. And this can, of course, be done without the toe hold if that feels like a bit much. I like to take an overhook of the legs in that case. And then let's end in a wide-legged straddle split, either with the hands hooked right over the inner thighs, or if you were holding your toes in Happy Baby, you can transition right to that wide-legged split from there. When you're feeling finished, bring your legs up an imaginary wall, and then draw your knees into your chest. Roll over onto one side, and slowly make your way back to a seated position. So that concludes our breakdown of Happy Baby posture, Ananda Balasana. Feel free to continue your practice or thank your body for showing up today, and I thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.